Pulling up pretty late to this one. Wanted to review the game yesterday against Czechia, but I'm still having some spillover from Christmas and I needed to get some sleep. But I'm here now, and that's what matters because we're talking about the World Juniors, Team Canada, baby. And specifically, I want to talk about Michael Hage. So strap yourselves in, let's talk about it.
And it looks like he hasn't missed a beat.
I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard you try.
I don't know if you're anything like me, but if you're watching the World Juniors this year and thinking about last year's World Juniors, you're hoping that they come back with a different team. But more than that, a different set of expectations maybe, or at least the mission or the challenge that they need to live up to the expectations Canadians have for a Canadian hockey team competing in international best on best. What happened last year couldn't completely be blamed on the players. And there were a lot of people asking like what management was going to do about this stuff. Well, they're back this year and things look okay. There are still some questions about the roster, but it certainly feels that the talent is there. A lot of draft picks, obviously, claimed players, drafted high, so Canada should fare well, just like this channel is faring well. Thank you so much for your continued support. We are still rocking it. Past 20,000 subscribers, looking toward 25,000. If you're new here, if you like what you've seen so far, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you as part of this community. Those of you already part of this community, don't worry about it. Hit the like button. It helps me out with something, right? So let's talk about these two games. Canada has already faced Czechia, and earlier today, they faced off against Latvia in what was maybe the more interesting of the two games, despite being a low scoring one, whereas the first game, not so low scoring. So as I said, a lot of these young guys have already found their homes in the NHL, and a lot of them were drafted high. The exceptions are Gavin McKenna, you might have heard of him, Carson Karels, and Ethan MacKenzie, who is undrafted currently. He might find a place, a landing spot after this tournament. You have big names like Tij Iginla, Michael Misa, Porter Martone, Jet Lukchenko's up there, Zayne Parekh, and in net, Carter George. Those are some of the names I like the most, but the one that I like for maybe biased reasons is Michael Hage. However, I'd like to talk about why Hage should be the name on everyone's lips in terms of just how useful he has been to this team and the maturity he's already exhibiting. So what I'm going to do is recap the first game against Czechia and then quickly go through the second game against Latvia. So the Czechia game, they face off. Canada strikes first.
Yes. Here comes Hage, winding in, and Hage with a step throws it back in front to McKenna. McKenna wheels it back, score! Brady Martin.
Martin makes it 1-0. This is from a feed from McKenna and Hage. Hage drives the play here, flips it back to McKenna. McKenna finds Martin, who does not hesitate even for 0.5 of a second. He finds his spot and puts this in. A really nice play, some quick thinking and high IQ. They knew where each other were on the sheet, but Czechia would respond.
And now Curran centers it, that's swept away by Baudouin, but not out. Kosanichka drops it back for Benak. That long shot, tip, score!
Holton making it 1-1, deflected low here in front of George. Perfect tip, but Canada looks so confused here. Holton all alone in front, like yeesh. That's okay, this is a high scoring one. You know Canada's gonna come back, and the person to do it is Hage.
Position, hit the activating defender on the far side, Danford, and then it's Martin to Hage with
2-1 Canada from the mouth of the slot. He sees his shot and goes bar down to regain the lead. I mean, this is beautiful, like frame this. This got cycled quite a bit by the Montreal faithful, and it may even be nicer than the one that he got earlier today. Spoilers, but we'll get to it. Stick around. They wrap up the first period here and have a controversial segment. So this is really interesting. Tij Iginla puts a shot in on net between his legs as the first period is wrapping up. They reviewed the play to see if this puck went in. The real controversy here should be that the defending player on Czechia, Curran, grabs the puck and throws it. The puck never crosses the line. He doesn't grab the puck across the line, as some have suggested. He just has this puck land in his mitt and he gets rid of it. This all happens in like a split second. The officials don't have time, but if they could do this all over again, play with 20/20 vision, this should have been a penalty shot. That's okay. The second period starts, and Čechs for Czechia makes it 2-2 on a delayed penalty.
That was blocked. And here is Curran with it. Back across to Mon. And that's
Canada gets sewed in on their end. They just could not sort themselves out here. And Čechs is in alone in front. This is starting to remind me of some bad setting up like the Montreal Canadiens can do at their worst. What are we doing? Leaving guys open in front? Like, that's no good. So this is kind of going back and forth. One team scores, the other team scores, one team scores, the other team scores. You're hoping that Canada comes back and regains the lead.
Jake McCabe deal. Now Čechs sends it across, they score! And it's Sikora who strikes.
No, it's Sikora making it 3-2. Czechia now with their first lead of the game. This is getting concerning at this point. Two guys coming in off the rush. Their pal is behind the net, easily gets control of the puck, unfortunately, and gets to pick two options, both of which are not being tied up right now or covered really well. A little bit of tic-tac-toe, and George can't find the save here. I mean, you don't expect them to. 3-2 for Czechia. The main offenders for me, it's Luchenko and Reschny. They seem to be the ones that get confused the most often. Baudouin also has difficulty, but I think that Baudouin's weakness is not transitioning the puck as well as he could be. In terms of the blue liners, I think that Parekh has a lot of defensive shortcomings, but Reed also gives me the yips a little bit. They need to be stronger on their guys. Parekh already has enough heat on him from his time earlier this season in the NHL. What kind of player is he going to turn out to be?
Got that the foot's wide. Baudouin back on it. Oh, Baudouin drops it back to Reed for Parekh, moves it and shoots, scores! Save!
Well, a player that gets a goal in this game, that's for sure. Just before the second period wraps up, Zayne Parekh ties it up with a beautiful shot, perfectly placed after the Canadians had the Czechs just scrambling in their zone. Now the second period ends. Czechia are getting more shots on net, some scary opportunities. I mean, if you're rooting for Canada here, you have concerns. Third period starts. Canadians go on, I think, their third power play of the game, and they capitalize on this one.
Lost his stick, McKenna. Plays it back across, knocked down by Parekh. In comes Parekh with a shot, score!
It's Parekh again. So he's wiping his slate a little bit clean by being offensively talented. And he picks another corner here. Obviously, this is probably what Parekh is comfortable with. He looked extremely comfortable here. So maybe that's just it. What he lacks defensively, he makes up offensively. I don't know if that's something that you love, picking players for your team. Regardless, 2 goals, how can you complain? Hard not to complain about this goal by Politan.
Way by Dinoyer. Galvis back with it. Feeds it back across. Sikora walks up and shoots, and Torres makes a great stop. Rebound, inside, they score!
Politan, who has his gloves all over this game, ties it up. Canada had so many opportunities here to just play stronger and to clear the puck, but they simply didn't. And then Danford needed to be way stronger here. This is a high urgency type moment, and you're falling down on the play, not on your guy. Rough. So you're hoping that the game's not going to overtime, certainly. And no, you don't have to worry about that.
Misa in with Martone, drops for Iginla. Tij Iginla shoots, scores!
Iginla makes it 5-4. Huge goal here. Iginla was putting out a lot of good shifts at this point. He and Misa enter the zone. Misa dishes once he's gained the zone. He also gains 2 defenders, which gives Iginla some space, some extra room, some extra time to find his shot, and he does that. He finds his shot. Nice goal here by Iginla. 5-4 Canada. I was talking about MacKenzie. MacKenzie is going to give them some insurance, making it 6-4. So Hage sends him the puck. He grabs it off the wall, puts it into McKenzie's hands, and he finds the back of the net. Martone would put in an empty net goal. And then on his way back to the Canadian bench to give some fist bumps, he gives Nat Vanny a little pat on the bum. And then this turns into a big thing. He has to issue a statement about it. The IIHF officials actually may have been prompted to also release a statement because of this, but it was more about the warm-ups and how Team Canada was, well, they were trying to mix things up. It is what it is. I didn't love this from Martone, but it's just competitive kids messing around. Now the game with Latvia earlier today. Canada faces off against mighty Latvia, who eliminated them last year. So here's where the controversy starts. It's the second period. Nobody has hit the board yet. Still tied at 0. They're calling a headshot on a Latvian player. 5 minutes in the game. They review it to make sure they like their call. And it stands. I don't love this. I'm not familiar with what's considered a headshot internationally, but this looks a little soft to give the guy the boot in 5 minutes. Then on the ensuing 5-minute power play, Reschny makes it 1-0. McKenna and Hage with the assists here. I'm relieved that this is within the first minute because personally, this is a 2-minute penalty, right? Game continues. Canada seems like they're just going to keep this a low scoring affair. But with 2 minutes left, deja vu, just like they did it last time, Latvia scores, tying it up in the last 2 minutes of play. Bears calls, and it's another defensive lapse, leaving a guy guarding 2 players in front. Bears calls, gets fed. The 2 Canadian defenders just now are not positioned to stop him. Kicks it to his stick and puts it in. Nice goal by Latvia, and they're going to have to go to OT. So who is going to solve the game in OT?
To Parekh, Hage, kind of slap pass it back, and wonders McKenna, looks back across, they score! Michael Hage!
That's right, Michael Hage, 2-1. Wow, what a way to win it. Gavin McKenna to Michael Hage. Personally, for my money, I think that these two are the most impressive of this tournament so far, but I might be a little bit biased because, of course, Hage is on the Montreal Canadiens, my team. The thing is, he looks so mature. He's always fighting as strong as he can for the puck. He'll take a hit to make a play. He'll forecheck, back check. He's always giving it his all, it seems. I love that from him. But, and I do have to wrap this up. I thought I was going to make this video longer. I'll be talking about Hage again. If you're a Canadian watching this, if you're a Canadian watching this team, you're probably a little bit worried about the team defensively. And then after this game with Latvia, you're probably worried about them offensively a little bit too, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. Maybe there's a confidence issue here, but if you think of Canada's system and how many players Canada pumps out, Latvia, how big is Latvia? 1.8 million. So there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said about Latvia's hockey system. They're doing something right, obviously. Pumping out crazy goaltenders, that's for sure. But what's going on, Canada? Are we truly picking the right guys? Is the system broken at the bottom? What's going on? I'll tell you, as a dad who has a son that's interested in hockey, that stuff's expensive, man. And you don't make it the sexiest thing for parents either. You're waking up at 5 o'clock to drive in freezing weather to a rink that could be 25, 30 minutes away. Figure it out. Because if it's all just the little rich kids that are getting picked and getting promoted and getting put up the ladder, well, the little rich kids, should I talk poorly about little rich kids? There's something to say about the strength, the softness of a little rich kid, maybe? Anyway, I digress. Thank you so much for watching. You know what to do. Like the video, it helps me out with search results probably. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.